Good morning นะครับ everyone. How are you today ครับ Are you good? I hope that all of you are fine today นะครับ So today is our first lecture in Power BI นะครับ I hope that all of you have like the Power BI ready in your computer นะครับ So all right. So right now everyone just like start your Power BI program นะครับ So hang on, let me just like share my screen. You just like start your Power BI. Okay. Okay, just one belong. Let me start my Power BI as well. Okay. So the Power BI software that we have to use in this class is called the Power BI Desktop นะครับ Power BI Desktop is the software นะครับ is the one of the Power BI software that we have to use it in order to create our visualization, to edit our visualization as well as the data that we have got in order to create the visualization as well. It's different from other Power BI that you might have seen it on the internet for downloading นะครับ for example, if you see Power BI Mobile, that version of the Power BI is used to view your Power BI visualization นะครับ also you may be able to use that Power BI Mobile to view the data, but you cannot edit or create any visualization on that Power BI version นะครับ apart from that one, you may see the Power BI server นะครับ that one is just like to save and to share the Power BI visualization and data นะครับ that one is for the corporate use. That means you have to purchase that version of Power BI in the company in order to share the data, in order to edit your visualization and to create visualization as well นะครับ that one is for group work, while the Power BI Desktop นะครับ can be used individually and it's a free download นะครับ in order to create the visualization นะครับ all right. So when we have the Power BI Desktop, the things that always start together with the Power BI นะครับ is just like this one is the pop-up screen. It will ask you that, okay, what are you going to do นะครับ also it introduce you for the videos นะครับ for the Power BI as well. When you would like to view the tutorial videos, you can just like watch from this, or if there are something new นะครับ you have to know that normally Power BI has been updated every month นะครับ or every 1.5 months. So sometimes when they have like the new tutorials, the new video นะครับ and the new features in Power BI Desktop, it will show you in this screen นะครับ and then you can watch it. But if you don't want to see this screen anymore, you can click นะครับ the checkbox to uncheck for show this screen on startup นะครับ and apart from that one, you can see that this one I just logged in on my account นะครับ under my name. So some of you may just like log in นะครับ or sign in into your account already. What account that we can that you can sign in? You can just like use your Mahidol's email account นะครับ that you used to use it for downloading the Microsoft Office 365 นะครับ, the same account. You have to use like your email address, Mahidol's email address that is ended with @mahidol.ac.th นะครับ. The one that is @mahidol.edu cannot be used for logging in นะครับ for the Power BI and the software family of Microsoft. Okay. Apart from that one, you can also use your Hotmail account นะครับ or Microsoft account to log in as well นะครับ. For logging in, one good thing for logging in is that you can save your file นะครับ in your cloud drive นะครับ the OneDrive of Microsoft. so that you can just like save it on the cloud and use any computer in order to access that file. And another thing is that Power BI will not pop up and ask you to sign in all the time, because I mean, like, from my experience, if you do not sign in every 1 hour or every 30 minutes, it may just like pop up to ask you to sign in, and then you have to cancel all the time. That is annoying sometimes. So it depends on you, but you can choose not to save not to sign in into your account as well. No, there's no problem, because sometimes when you use your computer, you don't, I mean, like, for example, if you just like go to cafe and you don't want to be annoyed, or you don't want to connect to the internet, in that case you may not want to sign in into your Microsoft account. That is okay too. Now let's see, when you just like start your Power BI, and then you can see the screen, the pop-up screen like this. On the left hand side, what is it for? You can see that we have get data and recent sources, and open other reports. So in this one, we have a couple of terms that you have to know in Power BI. So the first one is that when you see the word get data, get data in here in Power BI means that whenever you would like to bring the data from outside sources, for example, you have Excel data, you have web data, you have other form of the file like the text file, to be used with Power BI. The terms that Power BI use is called as get data. It's different from import. Get data is not equals to import. Import is like when you have other kind of the visualization software, and you want to bring those kind of visualization and as well as data and template or whatever. For example, if you have Tableau, that is the competitive software with the Power BI, we use the word import. But in here, normally if you have Excel, web, and or text file, or other external source that I will talk about it later on, I'll call it as get data. Okay, and the next one, the next word or the next term that you have to know in Power BI is called reports. Reports in Power BI equals to the visualizations. So in one file, you can see that we can have many visualizations. Normally, we store it in a file. We store a group of visualizations, group of data, group of model in the same file. We call them as reports. Okay, so in this one, because we don't have anything yet, I'll just like cancel this pop-up screen first, and then I'll just like explain the component to you, what we have in Power BI. All right, okay, so you can see that the organization of the Power BI in here, it looks similar to Excel because it has hang on. It has tabs in order to let you just like do many things. That means in this one, you have page 1, then you can have page 2, page 3, page 4, and so on. What are pages in here? Each page, we call it as a report. So in this one, the whole screen in here that you have a look here, we call it as report view as well. In the report view, you can have like many pages in the report. In each like white screen here, the white screen here, you can put the visualization in, and in Power BI, we call them as reports. Okay, so now let's talk about the component in Power BI. Let's talk about the component in Power BI. For the Power BI here, if you have a look, we have the ribbons in order to show file, home, insert, modeling, view, and help. Each of the components in the ribbons are useful for us. So for file, it is just like to create the new Power BI visualization file. In order to create the new, in order to open the report file that we created before, save as. Get data is like when you have what to say, Excel file or like database that you would like to get the data in order to create your visualization or to create the reports. You use the get data here. Import, as I told you that, okay, if you have like some other Power BI files or Tableau, you can import those kind of contents and also like some visualizations as well, or export. You just like do the opposite way around to send this kind of file into other formats. Okay, right. So these are the things that we have to use for the file menu. Okay. Browse report is open report, the same thing. Okay, we just open it from what source that you have. Okay, next, home tab. Home tab in Power BI, in here, it try to just like compile, frequently used file of frequently used menu for us. For example, here you can see that we have get data from different sources that I mentioned earlier, and it just like show you that, okay, the frequently used sources that you have got, like Excel, you get the file from Excel. You may have like Power BI data sets, the SQL server or database, or if you would like to enter some data, or pasting some data in your Power BI file, and Dataverse is for like the data source that Microsoft set up for us, in order to just like use for like the corporate, so we don't use this one. So recent sources are just like the source of data that you use it frequently, or the latest one that you used before. Next, transform data. It is just like to clean or to check if the data is not correct. You can just like also use the transform data in order to just like what to say, clean that data before you just like really use Power BI. Okay, in this one, we also have like some submenus for transform data. That is transform data or data source setting. For transform data in some handbook, or in some manual or on some website, transform data, they may call it as Power Query. The same thing. Power Query is the same as transform data. So you see the word Power Query sometimes when I just like show some screen to you. Data source setting. For the data source setting is also important as well, because normally if you just like create your Power BI report file, the things that you have is that it just like link with a specific location of the data. For example, if you say that your original data source is the Excel file that you store in download folder, okay, in the download folder. So if you send this Power BI report file to other people, for example, you save it in your share drive and let your colleague to open it up or to use it, or you send an email by attaching this report file into your email. When your colleagues open up this report file, if they want to do, or if they want to see or edit some data, it will ask for the data from the source that you set up. So that means your colleague need to have that same data file in download folder as well. But I mean, in practice, you don't give it to them, or maybe you just save it, or you save it in another share drive folder as well. So Power BI may cause the error. Then data source setting is the tool that help us to just remap the data source, where is it really located. For example, if they save it as a file in C drive only นะครับ in the folder called data, let's say, then your colleague has to just like choose the data source setting to change or to remap the file นะครับ the data file from download folder into data folder instead. We have to use this tool นะครับ because some of you may see the same problem in here. I'll show you next on how do you gonna just like use the data source setting in here. New visual means that what kind of like visualization นะครับ visualization in Power BI they call them short as visual นะครับ visual is a picture นะครับ or graph or charts that we use we call it as new visual นะครับ you can just like use it to create new visual or new charts นะครับ into Power BI report file in here like this นะครับ okay another one นะครับ text box is that, for example, if you want to write your name or if you want to just like write some title of the charts นะครับ you can choose this text box นะครับ in order to type something in นะครับ okay and also you can have more visuals. For more visuals here, it is important as well because I'll assign you as an assignment นะครับ just like give you some idea first. For the current นะครับ for the current visual นะครับ or visualization that Power BI has นะครับ you can see it in here นะครับ these are the standard visuals นะครับ or visualization that Power BI has got นะครับ in here but somebody may say that it's not enough. I want some more นะครับ so in here you can just like choose more visuals นะครับ that is from app source just you can try clicking on it. You can choose this one is the app source. The app sources they are นะครับ more visualization. Some of them are for free that people just create it and share to the community นะครับ so you can just like use this kind of the new visualization apart from the standard one that Power BI has got นะครับ or some of them might be the purchase you can purchase it from like this kind of the visuals as well นะครับ some for free some for paid นะครับ okay here right this is the app source that you can just like get some more you can get some more visualization tools นะครับ okay right after you have this one นะครับ you can see that okay you can just like have some more thing like calculations นะครับ and share for sensitivity and share this class we don't use it we use calculation as well in order to calculate some values นะครับ you can see that for the Power BI here นะครับ the majority of Power BI features is for visualizations นะครับ it is not editing or just like calculating same as like what we have got in Excel. You may be able to do that นะครับ but it's not as easy as Excel. So that means some people prefer to prepare their data from Excel first and after that they just get that data into Power BI นะครับ rather than just like create everything in Power BI นะครับ because I mean like sometimes the Excel นะครับ is the universal file that people in your department use something like that then the things that you can use is that you just get that data and then just do something like transform the data in Power BI for your own personal use นะครับ without just like modifying any Excel นะครับ so it depends on our usage okay that is the ribbon that you have to understand in Power BI now นะครับ let's see on this screen นะครับ we talk about the report view the report screen before if you remember I told you that the white area here the white area here just one below okay the white area here is called report view report view in Power BI so that means for the report view It's a view that show us for the visualization that we created นะครับ that we created sorry okay in here นะครับ so it consists of sorry this one is as well the tab นะครับ that show us for pages why do we need to have like different pages because in Power BI นะครับ when you would like to create any visualizations or the charts นะครับ in one page this is the area that you can draw the chart or visualization you can see that there is no scroll bar that means this is just only the page that you can get the data that you can display the data only so that means if one page is not enough you can create the next page นะครับ in order to show your data show your visualization นะครับ so that's why นะครับ in one report file นะครับ we can have like many pages นะครับ on the right hand side of the report view it is the visualizations menu นะครับ visualization menus that you can just like choose different kind of visualizations นะครับ to be displayed and for the setting of the visualization to be linked to what kind of data นะครับ I'll talk about it later apart from that you can just like filter the data to be shown just like a specific criteria that you want to have as well นะครับ and also you can just like sorry you can just show the fields นะครับ that is like the fields in your table or your data that you would like to use or you would like to view or to hide them นะครับ I'll talk about it next on so this is the report view that we have got นะครับ in order to switch the view นะครับ actually Power BI has three major views that you have to know นะครับ the first view is the report view in order to access to the report view it's on the left hand side here นะครับ you can see that there is the graph symbol นะครับ the bar chart symbol here นะครับ this is to access to the report view next lower than the report view you see the grid or the small table here นะครับ this one is called as data view นะครับ so everyone just try to click on data view ครับ and see what happened right now you can see that we have just like the gray screen because we haven't got any data yet นะครับ and because this is Power BI it is not Excel so you cannot create the new worksheet and create or enter the data freely in here นะครับ you have to get data from other places or from other file first นะครับ in order to see the data in this screen and the last view นะครับ of Power BI we call it as model view model view นะครับ tell us about the relationships of the data that we have got that we may have in the data that in the data view นะครับ so normally every time that you get the data นะครับ from us or the external source the data let's say if we get the data from Excel นะครับ each worksheet นะครับ will be called as a table นะครับ a table in Power BI let's say if you have 5 worksheets Power BI will import it as 5 tables นะครับ and after that when the tables are getting into Power BI already Power BI will automatically analyze นะครับ the relationship among those columns or among those fields นะครับ in the data that you have imported or get นะครับ so another term that you have to know in Power BI นะครับ a column in Excel is a field in Power BI okay so that means when I talk about a field that means I mean a column in Excel นะครับ that we used before and apart from that one when we get a field in Power BI, a column in Power BI already นะครับ sorry a column in Excel into Power BI we call it as a field already นะครับ assume that we would like to get the data from other sources. For example, if you have a text file, one getting, you get one table นะครับ that means if you have 5 different files, 5 different text file, and you get it 5 times, that means Power BI will ask you whether you would like to create a new table or not. If yes, it will be get as like 5 files. Oh, sorry, 5 tables in Power BI. You see the example when I just like start talking about getting the data in here. So this is the what to say, the model view of Power BI. When we have the model view of Power BI already, the next thing that you have to know is that when you have normally when you get the data into Power BI desktop file report file already, it will try to justify the relationship automatically. But in case Power BI cannot justify that, you have to help. I'll talk about it later when we reach the part of helping Power BI to justify the relationship among different tables in our Power BI. Okay, right. Okay, so these are like the components in Power BI that we need to know. Okay, right. Okay, now I'll go back to the report view first. For any visualization that I just like created accidentally or text box that I created accidentally, we can delete it. If you don't want it anymore, you have to click on that icons. After that, you just like click on 3 dots here. The 3 dots menu here, and then choose remove. It just like clear out that components or that object in Power BI for you. Okay, now it's clean already. So we are going to get the data from our Excel file. So I'll teach you for different type. I'll teach you for different type of data that you have to know. Okay. The first one is from Excel first. Okay, so everyone, I just want you to log in into your e-learning. I prepared the data for you already. So in the Power BI section, I want you to download the file called sales order Excel file first. And then we analyze that file together before we get it into Power BI. When you download it already, just open it up. Okay, when you download that ABC sales for Power BI file already, let's see. In this file, this is Excel file. It consists of 7 worksheets altogether, namely orders detail, customers, product category, supplier, and employees. Okay. For these 7 worksheets, let's browse through these worksheet and see what are the contents inside. For this worksheet, the first worksheet called orders. This should be like the sales order of a company. Here is ABC company. Okay, the first row is the title of this report or this table or this worksheet, sales order of ABC company, and then it's a header. It's a headers of each column. Consists of orders ID, customer ID, and so on. Okay, this should be just like the sales order detail. Sales orders information. Okay. Next, for the next worksheet is called as orders detail. In the orders detail here, It should be something about the sales orders, but it just like talk about the details about it. In here, it has the headings that are orders ID, product ID, unit price, quantity, and discount. In here, you don't know who purchased this product, or who is the customer of this order. If you want to know, you have to go back to order. For example, you would like to know that for the order ID number 10248, who purchased it. When you go back to the orders table, you can see that 10248 is purchased by WILMK. And you don't know either that who is WILMK. Then you have to go to customer table and see that, okay, for WILMK is whom. Okay, in here. Okay, let me just like see. Is this person? That is Wilman Kala Company. Okay. So in the reality, the data is separated in different tables like this. So in most of companies around the world, they keep each worksheet as one table in their database. And it looks like this. You can see that if you have just one worksheet or one table, you cannot tell everything. You have to link every single table together. So that's why I told you that Power BI has the model in order to link the relationship among different tables together. So as I told you in this example, if I want to know that who purchased this product, you have to map 10248 order ID 10248 in the orders table to see WILMK and after that you have to match WILMK in your customers table in order to see that, okay, WILMK means in here Wilman Kala Company in here. You can see that if you don't have the help of any tools, you have to just like go to many tables and match them by yourself. But in Power BI, it has the tools in order to automatically map these relationships for us. Okay, now let's go on. For the table or the worksheet customer, it talks about like the details of the customer, like from their ID, the name of them, the contact name, the contact person of that company, title of that contact person, and the country where your customer's company is located. Product table is like the product details with its stock, together with the supplier that we purchase from, the category of the product that we can group them. Okay, and the flag to tell us that do we still have or do we still order that product into our company or not. So true means that we true means it's discontinued. We don't purchase that product to sell it in our company anymore. But if it's false, it means that it's a current product that we still like sell that product to our customer. Okay, categories means that, okay, we group the product into different categories in the previous worksheet in here, category ID, and then we have category ID, category name, and the description of this category or of this group. Suppliers means we purchase from whom. You can see that for the supplier ID here, it appears in the product table in here. And also the country of origin where we purchase from. And the last one, employee table, is from it's the table that tell us that who are the employees of our company who deal with like selling the products to the customer. In here you can see that if you have a look on the orders table, you see a column or a field called employee ID. For example, the order ID 10248 is sold by employee ID number 5. And if you go to employee table, you can see that employee ID number 5 is Stephen Buchanan. He sold this product. He sold this order for us. Okay. Now let's see a bit. In this one, we have many fields: employee ID, last name, first name, title, title of courtesy, birth date, hire date is the date that they start working with us, and report to. Report to here means that, okay, who that this employee has to report to. This is the employee ID as well. For example, let's see, Nancy Davalio, she has to report to number 2. Number 2 is Andrew Fuller. Okay, same as Janet Levering, Margaret Peacock, and so on. Now let's see for this one, Michael Suyama, he has to report to number 5. He has to report to Stephen Buchanan, while Stephen Buchanan himself has to report to Andrew Fuller. So this is just like the linkage for the reports to and the employee ID. So that means in this workbook or in this Excel file, we have altogether 7 tables or 7 worksheets. Okay, now you get all of the data already in here. Some of the people, they just like manage the data in Excel first before they get into Power BI. For example, some data that we have got, the first name and last name might be in the same column. So somebody may say that, oh, I want to split them. I want last name in one column, one field, first name is in another field, and title of courtesy as well. For example, some data may be like appear like Miss Nancy Devolio in the same column or in the same field. Then somebody may just like prefer to cut it in Excel first, to let them appear like this. While somebody said, oh, I don't know how to cut it into or split them into different column or in different fields, then you can use Power BI to help you. Don't worry. So the basic kind of manipulating your data, Power BI can do it. But in order to have like the formula that is like quite complicated, some of them Power BI can manage, but some of them Power BI cannot do that. Okay, right. Okay, we open this Excel file like this so that we can just like switch back and forth. Right. Okay, so I expect that right now, your Excel file here, that you download from e-learning is located in download folder, right? In download folder. Okay. Now, let's go back to switch back to Power BI. Okay. Firstly, we will get the data from Excel. You can see that sometimes Power BI itself, the developer of Power BI just like make themselves confused. Sometimes they call it as get data. Sometimes they call it as import data. Okay, the same thing in here. You can just like get the data from Excel or different sources by just like clicking on many possible icons. You can just click from get data. You can get from Excel Workbook, or you can click from import from Excel, the same thing. You can just like choose one out of these 3 ways. Okay, in here let me explain to you if you would like to get the data. In here just click on get data first. Just click on get data first, and then I'll explain to you. Okay, once you click get data, it just like show us various types of the data source that you can get the data from. If you just like click on the down arrow here, it just show the commonly used data source นะครับ but if you just click on the icon directly it just pop up นะครับ a window for you and show us that what are possible data sources นะครับ that you can get the data from. In here you can see that it has just like tens of them นะครับ that you can get the data from. That means in the reality นะครับ different companies may generate their data from different tools นะครับ some tools are just like well known, some tools are quite brand new, some tools are very old kind of data นะครับ something like that นะครับ in here นะครับ but in our class I'll just like teach you for a couple of the data source that you can get from, for example, from Excel Workbook, from text/CSV, and also I'll just like show you the data from the website as well. Okay, right. Okay, in here, we just go to Excel Workbook, and then you click Connect. Power BI will ask you that where is your file located นะครับ then we go to download folder นะครับ and this is our file ABC sales for Power BI นะครับ just click on that one and then choose open. When you open it up นะครับ Power BI has to analyze the content of your data first นะครับ if your computer is the old computer นะครับ and let's say if you have just like not much memory นะครับ if you don't have not much memory in your computer or your computer's hard drive นะครับ is just like the what to say the old type of hard drive that has a spinning parts in your hard drive. So what do I mean นะครับ I can tell you that one example of the old type of hard drive is like this. Hang on, let's see. Most of the let's see this one. If you have a look, in this one is a portable hard drive. Old type of portable hard drive. If you purchase it, let's say this is 2 terabytes. The price is around like less than, let's say 2,000 baht. Let's say. I can tell you that this one is the old type of the hard drive. How do I know? Once you just plug in to download or to just like copy the file, you hear the sound, you hear the noise. This kind of hard drive is still in many of the desktop computer and some of the computers as well, especially if your computer is not Mac. For example, if you just like have HP, I also use HP and Lenovo as well. If the case of your computer is quite thick, that one most of them, I assume that they use the old type of hard drive. That means if you save your file or if you start your computer, you hear some noise. That is the hard drive noise. So that kind of thing, why do I have to tell you? That kind of hard drive is slower than the new type of hard drive. That is what we call the SSD. Some of you, when you purchase your new computer, you may have seen the spec that they say that they call it as the hard drive is SSD type. SSD stand for solid state drive. That is the drive that does not need to spin anything because they save all of your data in the chips, the small chips inside. It's solid state because it doesn't move anything. While the old type of the hard drive, they use the motor to spin, and then you just like store the data into the magnetic disk. That so when it's spinning, it has to just like find your data until they reach it before they get it. So that's why sometimes it's slower. I mean, not sometimes, all the time it's slower than the SSD drive. Okay, so when you use Power BI, I mean, small amount of memory that you have got, and the type of hard drive does matter, because I mean, like in the past, when we started having to give a lecture, to conduct the lecture online through Zoom like this, I used MacBook before. what happened was when I just like had to use Power BI on my Mac, I had to do the same thing as I told you before. I had to install Bootcamp นะครับ I had to install Windows, and after that I just set up Power BI on that. That one, it caused like my computer to be quite slow นะครับ then I just changed to use my another computer that is HP laptop computer because I don't need to just like install the what to say Bootcamp anymore. It should just like help my computer sorry, my Power BI to run faster, and then it was faster. After that, I said, okay, when I just like use that one, if it's for personal use, it's okay for the speed. But what happened was when I had to mark the score of the student, especially in the final exam, there were around like almost 200 students in each trimester. That means and normally one person had to submit me 2 files. That means I had to open up almost 400 Power BI file. Let's say if I have to just like mark the score let's say 50 people per day. That means I have to just like deal with 100 Power BI file, open and close like this. In that case it took a lot of time for me because that laptop computer still use the standard hard drive it took me almost 2 or 3 minutes at least to open one Power BI file. So that means just like sit and wait almost 6-7 minutes already before I can just like mark the score of that of those files for one person. It wastes a lot of time. So that's why right now I have to just like change to be another desktop computer that is like faster than what I got from that kind of the laptop computer. So in this one, you can see that when I start my Power BI, it looks quick and then also in order to just like open the file, it looks quick as well. If it is quicker than yours, that means because just like my computer spec is just like quite fast then don't worry, nothing is wrong with your computer but it's just like a bit slower, just that, but it's still working anyway. Okay, now when Power BI analyzed already for the file that you're opening it show us that for the file that you are opening right now, in this one it consists of these 7 worksheets these 7 worksheets, categories, customer, and so on and suggested table in here for anyone who don't have to think of anything you may just like let Power BI to analyze. But for us because we learn about Power BI we don't use suggested table because it's wrong in here. If you remember, in our file in our data file, we have altogether 7 tables or 7 worksheets that you have to deal with. You cannot pick 2 of them and forget about the rest 5, because if you remember, orders are linked with order details, are linked with customer, are linked with product, category, suppliers, and employees. That's why we cannot avoid that's why we cannot avoid. Okay, so that means we need these 7 worksheets or 7 tables altogether. So you may see the preview of each worksheet or each table as well by just clicking on that name on that table name. For example, categories. On the right hand side, it just generates a preview for you so that you can see, oh, these are just like the basic contents that we have got for our data in this table. It looks like this. Okay, now when we know that we want all of them you just tick in front of each worksheet or in each table Okay, so we will tick just only the data that we know นะครับ for suggested table I don't want we want just like what we have got. Why does Power BI suggest us for two tables here, orders and product? Because they think it thinks that these are just like two usable table นะครับ for us นะครับ the rest of them are just like consist of a lot of text, so that's why it is not interesting นะครับ but actually it's wrong นะครับ we want everything นะครับ that's why we just like want these 7 tables นะครับ okay. What if you get just 6 tables only นะครับ for example นะครับ you don't choose product, you don't choose suppliers, you can get it later on นะครับ we do it together นะครับ everyone just try. We just get only the first 5 tables, we exclude product and suppliers นะครับ we'll get it later on นะครับ just use this 5 table first or 5 worksheet first, and then you click load. Okay, when Power BI analyze everything for you already, it start getting data into your Power BI report file นะครับ in here. So how do we know whether we have the data in our Power BI report file already or not? You just click on data view ครับ you can see that in here it start having the data. The things that I want you to notice first is on the right hand side. This one นะครับ each symbol นะครับ the right arrow, and this one, this is the table นะครับ if you click on the right arrow here นะครับ it just show us the list นะครับ the list of the field that we have got. For example, in the categories table นะครับ in the categories table it consists of 3 fields altogether: category ID, category name, and description นะครับ symbol in front นะครับ sigma นะครับ or summation symbol here means this table this field is the number นะครับ is the number that it can be summable นะครับ that can be summable. This is customers table, consists of 5 column 1 2 3 4 5 นะครับ. Let's see what is inside. 1 2 3 4 5 here. Employees นะครับ consists of birth date, employee ID, and so on. Now you see the calendar symbol. This one, it means that birth date is the date type นะครับ and in here you can have date hierarchy that is can be separated into day, month, and year นะครับ and also quarter as well นะครับ something like that. That means you can just like manage the data in here as well. Apart from that one นะครับ if you have a look on orders table นะครับ it consists of column 2 3 4 5 6 7 นะครับ and the column called sales order ABC company, and orders detail นะครับ consists of like 5 columns altogether นะครับ all columns นะครับ are numbers because they are summable. You can see that they look strange, isn't it นะครับ because if you just like have a look on categories table it's okay, but starting from customers table, why don't the column name or the field name is the real field name, but it shows just column 1 2 3 4 5, while the data here นะครับ the heading becomes the data in record in one of the records in here. This looks strange. If you just have a look in our original Excel file นะครับ for customers worksheet นะครับ let's see for customers worksheet. Okay. You can see that it looks okay นะครับ but there must be something wrong when we getting the file into Power BI, but don't worry ครับ Power BI can manage this นะครับ we will just like fix it นะครับ later. Okay, Now I just like want you to see that we get 5 worksheets or 5 table in Power BI first and then we just manipulate that data inside here. Okay, right, when we have these 5 tables already okay, these are 5 tables, we call them as 5 tables. Okay, here, so this one I'm just wondering who still do not be able to get these 5 table in your Power BI file just let me know. Okay, Shananya what's going on
It's still loading
Still loading? Oh, it takes some time. Are you using Mac
Windows
Windows? Can you show us the screen? I just want to see what happened
just like this and do not change.
Can you click apply changes? Does it work? No, right?
I cannot click.
Okay, so if this one happens, right, normally it just like takes some time. I'm just wondering is that the old computer or the new one?
Old computer
Okay, if it's old computer it takes some time okay, right, okay, so that means you have to be patient a bit when you just like use that computer okay, now let's see for the rest of you, is everything okay? Do we still have anyone who still do not be able to just like load Power BI? Okay, so if not now let me continue talking about like adding some extra tables into your Power BI. You can see that until now we get just like 5 tables only. We still need to have 2 more. We still have need 2 more tables in here. So in order to just like get some more tables okay, in order to get some more table, we do the same thing we go to Home tab and then right now you can just like click on Excel get data from Excel Workbook in here. It just like pop up the folder for us. We just choose the same old file click open. So right now we still need to get product table and suppliers table. You can do like this straight away because sometimes you think that you may want to get just like 3 worksheets or 3 tables only, but later on you found that, oh, that worksheet is important for me, or you know that product is located in another Excel file, then you just open that file no problem. Okay, right, okay, so when I just like want to get 2 more tables I just choose them and then click load. Okay, Shananya, is it okay now? Do you get the data yet?
Not yet
It's very slow. So if it's in 2 minutes, if it's still not be able to load, you just cancel it first close your Power BI and open it up once again, and then you just start getting 1 table at a time to see whether it's okay or not. When you get 1 table already and it works, you just like getting another table 1 at a time slowly until you get all 7 tables in your Power BI file. Okay, so when we have like this already so right now you can see that we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables all together นะครับ some tables are okay like categories it is okay while customer table it's not okay นะครับ employee table is okay order table not okay นะครับ because it has just like something like this นะครับ order details is okay product table not okay because heading goes to this record instead นะครับ okay and then suppliers นะครับ suppliers table is okay too so when we have some tables that the headings are not okay headings are really important thing for Power BI นะครับ because in Power BI when you would like to just like create the visualization นะครับ for example you create a visualization for sales นะครับ and then you say that you would like to group by customers but the table that is called that keeps the customer information นะครับ is unusable because it doesn't have the proper name of the column นะครับ then it means that the what to say visualization doesn't show customers information properly it may show as a word column 1 column 2 something like that or it shows nothing because it doesn't know who he or she is that's why you need to just like make this kind of information correctly first นะครับ okay so how does Power BI know the name of the person for example if it is the customer order นะครับ okay let's say this one you can see that I want to know that who is HANAR นะครับ because I want to show it in my chart you can see that in here Power BI doesn't know even HANAR is a customer ID นะครับ because it exists as column 2 while the customers you can see that it also have the column 2 นะครับ that is the customer name นะครับ in here as well and it doesn't know that this one means a customer name นะครับ human beings understand because we read and then we just like analyze about it นะครับ the way that Power BI use in order to know that okay that the customer ID match with what name นะครับ it just like use the model view in order to help in the model view นะครับ once you click on model view you can see the different tables นะครับ in the layout like this นะครับ one box นะครับ one box means one table นะครับ this one นะครับ on the top it is table name and lower than the table name that are the field name นะครับ that appear in that table นะครับ in here you can see that in here categories table is okay customer table is not okay employees table is okay orders table not okay because it doesn't have the proper column name or field name นะครับ order detail is okay product table is not okay and suppliers are okay when we have this one you can see that right now you don't see any linkage นะครับ among these different tables at all because the structure of the table นะครับ is not settled you still have column name you still have column 1 column 2 like this now Power BI analyze already that okay your data is not ready นะครับ to be used then it doesn't show any relationship now until you fix the problem นะครับ until you fix the problem when you see this don't insist to create any visualization นะครับ because it will be useless how do we gonna just like manage นะครับ or fix this problem นะครับ I go back to the data view first before I talk about นะครับ managing this data นะครับ the things that I would like you to know is that finally if you found that some tables you accidentally add it into your Power BI report file นะครับ or you accidentally add the extra copy of it then you have to clear it out นะครับ you have to clear it out from your Power BI how to do that นะครับ you can right click นะครับ suppose I say that okay, oh, the suppliers table I don't want it นะครับ you can just like right click นะครับ or click on the three dot menu here นะครับ and choose delete from model นะครับ in here assume that I delete the suppliers table นะครับ in here it's gone นะครับ However, I will analyze a little bit before it just like delete that data นะครับ okay now นะครับ okay I just like bring it back. I want just suppliers here I load. Then you also have to be careful sometimes if it shows a yellow bar นะครับ underneath the ribbon asks you for apply changes you have to click apply changes นะครับ otherwise it might be the old version of data that you download or you use it before. Now I get the suppliers table back already. Okay. So right now everyone knows that we have like getting 7 tables นะครับ into Power BI already, but some of the tables still have the wrong headings นะครับ we have to manipulate it. How do we gonna manipulate it? We have to use a tool that we call it as Power Query Editor นะครับ Power Query Editor to help fixing this problem. Where can we get it from? Power Query Editor has another name นะครับ in the current Power BI version as Transform Data. You just click on Transform Data นะครับ and choose Transform Data. So it opens up the programs นะครับ in Power BI that is called Power Query Editor นะครับ This is another separated program from Power BI Desktop นะครับ because if you have a look in here we have 2 programs that are opening. One is Power BI, the other one is Power Query Editor นะครับ The Power Query Editor is the one that we are using right now. Okay, in here. You can see that on the left hand side นะครับ it changed the name a bit นะครับ this one you see the word queries นะครับ this one equals to tables นะครับ in Power BI equals to worksheets in Excel. Same thing นะครับ in here. So in this one we have 7 queries altogether นะครับ we have 7 queries altogether in Power Query Editor นะครับ inside นะครับ you can see that right now we don't see any data anymore นะครับ oh hang on we see the data sorry we still see the data in here นะครับ and we can manage them as you want นะครับ we can manage them as you want because Power Query Editor has to show you that what are the data in that if there's something wrong you can fix the problem here นะครับ okay and you can see that right now the queries นะครับ or tables in Power Query Editor is sorted alphabetically นะครับ is sorted alphabetically is sorted ascendingly from A to Z. Okay, while in your Power BI นะครับ if I just switch back to Power BI screen. Okay, in this one นะครับ right now it's sorted according to the not from the order that you choose นะครับ from alphabet order as well in here. Okay, now let's see นะครับ in the Power Query Editor what are we going to do? Firstly you have to just like take a look นะครับ in each query or in each table that what table has the wrong heading นะครับ if the column header is wrong you have to fix it นะครับ okay that is the first thing that you have to do. Second one you have to check the data inside the table นะครับ whether there are something wrong or not. For example, if you say that some of the columns you don't want it, you may delete it out. Some of the records you don't want it,นะครับ you may just like use the way in a Power Query editor to clear it out as well. Some records นะครับ or some rows of data is like blank rows, you have to delete it as well นะครับ okay, so okay, let's begin with the first one, column headers first นะครับ okay, I just check one table at a time. You can see that, okay, for table categories or query category, we have the proper นะครับ we have the proper column name already, category ID, category name, and description. So in the column headers here, apart from the name, the data type is important as well นะครับ okay, here is the name, and the second one, data type. The data type means the type นะครับ of the content that will appear นะครับ in this data. You have to just choose the proper data type so that when you create the visualization, it will be able to just like manage that visualization properly or display that visualization properly. For example, some of the data, if you say that actually it should be the numbers, but Power BI just like treat it as a text, it is not usable. Then you have to change the data type นะครับ or some of the data, later on you think that your visualization will manage it as the date, but right now Power BI treat the data type as text only. Then you have to change it นะครับ you have to fix the problem first. So the name and data type are important. How to see the data type and how to change it. For example, in the categories table here นะครับ you see that the leading icon in front of the field name นะครับ in front of category ID is 123. 123 is a number นะครับ if you want to change it, you click on 123. It just show different type of the data that you may choose นะครับ in here. So นะครับ in here 123 is a whole number นะครับ you may just like leave it like that, because if it's correct already, leave it like that นะครับ but if you said no, I want it as a text because I never calculate anything from category ID, you can change it นะครับ but you have to be careful นะครับ if category ID exists in any table นะครับ when you say that in the categories table, you change category ID as text already. In other tables that you find category ID field, you have to change it as text as well. Otherwise, there will be the conflict between data types in different tables นะครับ so where else do I find it? If you just see that, okay, it is in the order detail table, and sorry, it is in product table here. You can see that the category ID นะครับ here, this is ABC 123 นะครับ, that is wrong. If you say that it is text, you just change it to be text, something like that, okay? But now I don't change นะครับ, I leave it like that. Next, category name is a text นะครับ description is a text. Yeah, it's correct already for the first query or the first table. The data type are okay too. Next, I go to customers table นะครับ in customer table here นะครับ you can see that the column headers are wrong. It must not be column 1 to column 5, but it must be customer ID, company name, contact name, contact title, and country instead. What should we do in here? Some of you ask me that can we just like right click and then rename the column? We may be able to do that นะครับ but how can you do with this record? You have to delete it out anyway. So นะครับ the better way in order to do rather than just rename it is that you have to bring นะครับ you have to bring the first row to become the header instead so that you just like manage it just once only นะครับ you don't need to rename everything manually you don't need to delete the first excessive record manually as well how can we do that in order to change นะครับ or switch the first row นะครับ to become the header instead นะครับ this one usually happens นะครับ in the reality that's why Power BI just like prepare a menu for you in order to change the first row of data to become the header instead นะครับ so where is it you can see that when you go to home menu in Power Query Editor you see use first row as headers นะครับ you can click on this but you have to make sure that okay the first row actually it is a real headers นะครับ when you see it already yeah you just like click use first row as header นะครับ you can see that right now the old header will be replaced by the first record นะครับ the first row will become the headers instead นะครับ okay right so นะครับ this is the first thing that we have to do apart from that one นะครับ what do we have to know นะครับ in Power Query Editor Power Query Editor นะครับ when you change anything before you quit from this screen and go back to your Power BI screen like this นะครับ you can see that we have a button called close and apply you have to click close and apply นะครับ otherwise anything that you do นะครับ will be cancelled นะครับ okay but we haven't finished yet นะครับ we just leave it like that first นะครับ okay after that นะครับ the next thing that is really important is here ครับ apply steps on the right hand side anything that you do นะครับ anything that you do will be recorded on the apply step นะครับ so that means in this one นะครับ we did นะครับ the important step is that we did the change type นะครับ we did the promoted headers นะครับ and change type 1 นะครับ in here so in here นะครับ the important thing that I did was promoted headers that means I just replace นะครับ I just replaced the old header to be the new one if I say that I did something wrong you can see that there is no undo button here ครับ but for undo you can do at the apply step here I say that I don't want promoted headers then I just like go upward นะครับ I delete the step change type 1 I delete promote headers you can see that right now everything comes back to the original state นะครับ column 1 column 2 3 4 5 นะครับ is still the same นะครับ and record number 1 is the headers นะครับ okay right so I do it again ครับ I just click use first row as headers again ครับ you can see that it just come automatically promoted headers and change type 1 นะครับ I didn't change but Power BI did it for me ครับ then you leave apply step like this นะครับ don't just like touch it in here because I mean like when I really have to do in marking the score I check on the apply step for what you did with your data นะครับ so that means if you delete all of them it means that you did nothing นะครับ okay right okay so everyone ครับ do you have any problems with changing the headers of customers table all right if you don't have any problem with changing this นะครับ I want you to do the same thing with other tables ครับ just manage them ครับ until you get the correct headers okay I want you to just like clear this problem first นะครับ make sure that every table has the correct headers ครับ just do it now ครับ everyone I give you 3 minutes นะครับ to read and then just handle the headers of every tables ครับ do it now ครับ everyone I give you 3 minutes นะครับ times up นะครับ everyone so now let's see นะครับ what do we have to do นะครับ so after the employees table นะครับ we move on to orders table you can see that right now นะครับ the header of the table here นะครับ actually if you go back to see your original data นะครับ in Excel the orders worksheet นะครับ unfortunately it has just like the header of this report that's why it show as like this one just in the first column as sales order ABC company as a column name while others นะครับ they are column 2 3 4 5 6 7 we do the same thing we just like use the first row นะครับ of data to become the headers instead นะครับ I just click use first row as headers นะครับ to switch the thing orders detail นะครับ this one is okay product table นะครับ you can see that this one we may have to do it 2 times because our original headers are on row number 2 in here นะครับ so people may do 2 things นะครับ do 2 different ways the first one นะครับ use first rows as headers 2 times นะครับ 2 times you do it 2 times until you get that one okay so let's see I do it 2 times นะครับ now it's still wrong right we do use first row as a headers as a second time until I get the correct one นะครับ okay this is the first way that we may do okay right apart from that one นะครับ the second way that people may do is that they delete นะครับ unwanted row first the first row they don't want นะครับ because it's all now nows mean nothing inside นะครับ how to clear out the data นะครับ in the rows that we don't want you can see that in here we have a menu called remove rows นะครับ remove rows you click remove rows นะครับ it asks you that what kind of rows would you like to remove in here you remove top rows นะครับ you remove top rows it will ask you that how many rows on the top you would like to remove I say that I just don't want row number 1 only ครับ then I say that I want to remove 1 row click OK then it's gone นะครับ unwanted row is gone okay let me do it again นะครับ when I know that I don't want row number 1 because it's wrong it's nothing here ครับ I just choose remove rows and choose remove top rows then I just choose number of row that I want to remove it 1 row only click OK นะครับ and after that I can just do use first row as headers นะครับ as usual until I get the correct one yeah this is what we want after that นะครับ I go to the last table is correct already that means right now นะครับ every single table I have the correct and proper headers already the next thing that I have to check นะครับ is the data type whether everything is okay or not นะครับ okay so in here นะครับ categories table I don't mind to use categories ID นะครับ as the number นะครับ I don't mind category name and description they are okay for the customer for the customers okay all text yeah that's okay employees นะครับ okay employee ID is the number I don't mind birth date is the date นะครับ it's okay hire date is the date reports to is the number yeah that is okay too I don't mind นะครับ in here for the birth date for the date data type in here you can see that the date data type it depends on our setting นะครับ it depends on our setting because in here you can see that for my one it show as the BC นะครับ okay for your one it might be shown as like AD นะครับ that's no problem นะครับ just leave it like that the next one นะครับ orders table okay order ID is number yeah customer ID is text นะครับ employee ID is text นะครับ dates are date data type ship address is text. Yeah, it's okay. Orders detail นะครับ orders ID and product ID there are numbers. Yeah. Unit price นะครับ in unit price here in this one I say that I want to use let's say fixed decimal numbers because they are just like the price of the product instead. But if you use decimal number, there's a problem too, because the calculation will be okay. But fixed decimal numbers in here, you can see that it will show just like no, some of them show no decimal points, just show as integer, something like that. In here, if I change it to be fixed decimal numbers, okay, and then I say that I want to change column type in this one. Everyone just have a look on my screen. This is important. You can see that in here, it show add new step, replace current, add new step, and cancel. This one you have to bear in mind when you do anything in Power Query Editor, always add new step. Always add new step, because if you want to undo, you just undo this step only. Otherwise, if you said replace current, it will just like once you undo it, clear out many things. So I choose add new step. This one, it shows change type 1. Okay, I want it to be like this. Okay, because if I cancel, I just cancel that previous step only. Okay, now, okay, choose fixed decimal places once again. Okay, so fixed decimal places here means that we are going to have the 2 decimal places. Doesn't matter whether it's just like the integer or not. For example, $2 here, it showed $2 and 0 cents, something like that, 2.00, something like that. I change it because I want it to be currency ones. Quantity is the whole number. Is a whole number. Yeah. Discount, I want to change it to be percentage. Okay, I change it to be percentage in here. In here. All right. Okay, but when you see the percentage here, when you see the percentage here, percentage in here, it's unfortunately it shows just 2 decimal places only. Sometimes you see 0.00, but actually it's not 0.00, but it's just like more decimal places in here. If you say that you want to show every single decimal points, you better choose the data type to be just like decimal numbers instead. To be decimal numbers instead. But if you say that, okay, I don't mind, just 2 decimal places is okay, then you choose percentage data type. It depends on you. In this one, I leave it as just the regular decimal numbers only. Okay. Product. Okay, product ID is number, product name is text. Supplier ID and category ID are numbers, integers, quantity per unit, this is text. Tell us that, okay, in one box or in one unit, what are numbers or details of that unit. Unit price here, I want to change it to be fixed decimal numbers or currency once again. I have to add new step. Okay. Unit in stock are integer. Units on order, integer. Reorder level is integer. Discontinue. This one data type is true, false. Or logical data type. Logical data type. Okay, in here. So I leave it like that. Okay, and the last table, suppliers table, everything looks okay now. Okay, so for the apply step, one group of apply step is for one table only, because if you just like move to different tables, the apply steps are different. So it means that the apply step are group of steps that you have done for that specific table that you are choosing only, right? Okay, so when everything is okay for you now นะครับ you just click close and apply นะครับ just click close and apply then it takes some time to analyze นะครับ now we go back to Power BI desktop already นะครับ okay so on the next class I'll go to talk about the model นะครับ that has been justified automatically by Power BI นะครับ and we talk about the next thing that we have to manage the data นะครับ before we can do the visualization so let's save this Power BI file first นะครับ okay we go to file นะครับ save I want you to save this Power BI file into your folder นะครับ don't save it on download or don't save it on desktop นะครับ because we have to do something else นะครับ in order to use the Power Query editor นะครับ that is related to your folder that you save นะครับ in this one let's save in your folder it may be the folder that you use in Excel นะครับ it's the same thing that is okay too so let me just save in my folder first okay then I name this file as ABC sales ABC sales the file type is PBIX นะครับ it will be ABC sales .pbix automatically just save it as ABC sales ครับ and then click save นะครับ it takes some time a bit นะครับ so let's check whether it's okay already or not in your folder นะครับ so let me just check yeah in here I got the ABC sales that is Power BI file already นะครับ okay so when we have this one นะครับ you can close your Power BI program right and then we'll use it again on the next class